finally arrived in Los Angeles, California, and after a couple of weeks of pounding the pavement, I got a job as a production assistant at the Mack Sennett Studios. Now, being a production assistant is the low rung of the ladder, but I used it to try to learn everything I could about making motion pictures. I worked in the camera department. I worked in special effects, makeup, costumes, anything I could do to learn how to make movies. And I got to work with some of the finest comedians of the day. Fatty Arbuckle, Harry Langdon, and Ben Turpin, who, by the way, in an attempt to help me lose my virginity, almost got me killed by a Serbian pimp. But that's another story for another day. But the biggest star working at the Sennett Studios was Miss Mabel Norman. Lordy, lordy, she was the prettiest thing on 2 feet. Beautiful skin, long red hair, just absolutely stunning. I was immediately smitten. Which did me no good because by this time she was incredibly involved with Mr. Sennett. Boy, was she involved. One minute they were going at each other like cats and dogs. The next they were going at each other like horny cats and dogs. One time I had to go into a prop room to get a lamp for Harry Langdon. And when I walked in, I saw the both of them going at it, full tilt boogie, in what some doctors would now refer to as a stress position. Needless to say, I grabbed the lamp, got the hell out of there before they could see me. Also later that night, well, let's just say that I finally did get to enjoy the charms of Miss Norman in what Lawrence Ferlinghetti would refer to as the Coney Island of my mind. A couple of months later, I get called into Mr. Sennett's office. And Mac looks at me and he says, "Son, I've been hearing good things about you. You're a hard worker and you seem determined to learn the business, so I'm going to give you a chance. I'm going to let you direct a short." I said, "Well, geez, thanks, sir. What kind of short?" And he said, "Nothing big. 1 set, 2 actors, that's it. Maybe about 5-10 minutes tops. Think you can do it?" I said, "Well, yeah, but I don't have any ideas." And he said, "That's fine. Just go. I'm going to fix you up with one of my best gag writers. You're going to sit down. You're going to hammer out a scenario. You're going to have it on my desk by Friday. We start shooting Monday." Okay, then. So I sat down with the gag writer, and together we hammered out a story called Tilly's Magical Elixir. The premise was that Tilly, played by Mabel, had gone to the pharmacy to pick up something for her rheumatism, but had accidentally picked up a powerful aphrodisiac. This immediately had an effect on her and on her husband, to be played by Fatty Arbuckle. Now this was a pretty racy premise, even by pre-code standards. But Mac was willing to try it. Mabel was game. So we shot it in about 3 days, and about a week and a half later, we have the completed short, and it's playing in a small theater in Los Angeles, and it laid there like a fried turd. Absolutely no reaction whatsoever. No laughs, no giggles, no nothing. No, we got one reaction. It was from a couple in the 5th row who began to spontaneously fornicate right there and then. It was at that moment I realized that I had accidentally made Mack Sennett's first pornographic film. A couple days later, I'm sitting in a coffee shop with Mr. Sennett. He's bought me a piece of pie and a cup of coffee. And he says to me, "Son, not gonna lie, you failed. But it was a bold failure. You made big choices and you followed through on them. And if I'm going to have somebody fail in my studio, I'd rather they fail boldly than like a timid little mouse." I said to him, "Well, thanks, Mr. Sennett. That's very kind of you. Does that mean you might let me direct again?" He says, "Hell no, you cost us too much money with this one. But just because I won't give you a job doesn't mean somebody else won't give you a job down the line." And I thought about this for a minute, and I said to myself, no, I did it. I directed one short, and I discovered with a shock that I really didn't have the aptitude for it. So from that moment on, I decided, fine, I won't make my own movies, but I will sweat blood to help other people make their movies. I'm never going to be in the center circle, but that doesn't mean I can't still be in the circus. Interesting footnote to this story. After Mack went bankrupt in 1933, a number of studios bought up some of his properties, and Warner Brothers ended up buying the rights to Tilly's Magical Elixir with an eye towards turning it into a feature. So, after a couple decades of various directors and various drafts, it was finally made in 1959 by Mr. Fred Zimmerman under the title The Nun Story.